Hello. Okay, today we are doing 1/6 absolute value inequalities, but we're only doing half today. I crossed off the ones that you do not have to do today, but that does not mean cross them off on your page because we're going to do them tomorrow. Today, we are only talking about when x is less than. But before we talk about that, let's do our problem of the day. So order of operations, we would do parentheses first. 1 minus 5 is -4. And then we would do our exponent, -4 squared. -4 times -4 is 16. 1 minus 16. Wow, that's really sloppy. Divided by -8. Also, I will upload a PDF of this as well that you can copy if you can't copy it well from this board. I know the video's kind of hard to see. Next, we would divide. 1 minus 16 divided by -8 is -2. 1 minus -2 becomes a big plus. So it's 3. 1 plus 2 is 3. So you should have gotten 3. Okay. Now we are going to talk about absolute value inequalities. Yesterday we talked about absolute value equations. So we got our absolute value by itself. We set it equal to the positive and negative version because we know that if the number in there is negative, the answer is really the positive version. So with absolute value inequalities, if I say the absolute value of x is less than 3, that means the absolute value of x is less than 3 away from 0. Well, this way, 3 is less than 3 away from 0 and -3. I could go positive or negative. So we're going to isolate the absolute value just like we did yesterday, create two inequalities, one as it's written here, and then the other one you flip it and make it negative. And then drop the inequality sign of the first one, flip the inequality sign and number sign for the second one. Solve both equations and graph your solution. Okay, that sounds really confusing. I promise it's not that bad. Do not cross these off on your page. They are only crossed off because they're the ones we're doing today. We're doing the greater than ones tomorrow. Okay, so if the absolute value of x, this angle is bad. If the absolute value of x is less than 5, it's less than 5 away from 0. So that means x is less than 5, and also x is greater than -5. I flip the sign and I make this negative. So I'm going to make this 0, -5 to 5. If x is less than 5 away from 0, it's going to be an open circle and it's going to be shaded in between. X can be anything between -5 and 0, and it will be within 5 of 0. Okay, next one. X plus 4 is less than 5. This is, my absolute value is already by itself. So I'm just going to do x plus 4 is less than 5. Keep it as it is. Or it's greater than -5. You flip your sign, you make this negative. So then we're going to subtract 4 to get x by itself. So x is less than 1 because 5 minus 4 is 1. And then -5 minus 4 is -9. So it's greater than -9. You do need to graph on your homework today, but your graphs don't need to be like perfectly elaborate, beautiful graphs. They can just be kind of an outline of where it would be. So like -9 would be, if this is -9, this was 0, 1 would be here. So it's less than 1. I'm going to use a different color so it stands out. This way from 1, and this way from 9. Everything we do today is going to be an and inequality. They're going to be shaded in between. Everything we're doing today is less than. So you can think of it as less than. Less than. It's going to make an and inequality. It's going to be shaded in between every single time today. If you get something that's not shaded in between, you did something wrong. Okay, these ones are greater than, which is what we will be doing tomorrow. So for this one, I put 2 number lines. You don't have to do 2 number lines on your homework. It's just to give you an idea of what we're doing, or like a visual of why we do what we do. We only have 3 more, I think, or maybe there's one on the back too. I think there's one on the back too. Okay, so if the absolute value of h minus 3 is less than 5, that means it's less than 5 away from 0. So it's between -5 and 5. I can use that to set it up. So that means h minus 3 From here, I can see it's greater than -5. That's just the flipped version with a -5 instead of +5. And then from here, I can see h minus 3 is less than +5. That's the original problem. Flipped version, negative, original problem. I solved both of them. Add 3 to both sides. I'm going to do them all at once. -5 plus 3 is -2. 5 plus 3 is 8. It's going to be an and inequality. So at -2, I have an open circle, that's 0. We'll say this is 8. Open circle at 8, and it is shaded in between. Okay, we're going to keep powering through. This one's less than or equal to, so that just means that when I shade it in, my circle is going to be closed. So it's between -9 and 9. I can use that to set up my equation. So 2v minus 1, I can see from here it's greater than or equal to -9, and 2v minus 1 is less than or equal to +9. That's just this sign flipped, and this made negative. Now we're going to solve them both. Add 1. -9 plus 1 is -8. Divide by 2. B is greater than or equal to -4. Add 1 on this one. 2b is less than or equal to 10. Divide by 2. B is less than or equal to 5. So if this is -4, and this is 0, and this is 5, we have closed circles since it's less than or equal to, and shaded in between. If I am moving too fast, you can pause it, rewatch, or slow it down. Okay, my next one, the absolute value is already by itself. So it's just saying it's less than 13 away from 0, which means it's between -13 and +13. So 2f plus 9 is greater than or equal to -13 from this, the flipped version, and the negative number. And then 2f plus 9 is less than or equal to +13. And then I just need to solve both of those. Subtract 9. -13 minus 9 is -22. 13 minus 9 is 4. Divide by 2. F is greater than or equal to -11. F is less than or equal to 2. So at -11, open circle going this way. We'll say this is 0, this is 2. At 2, closed circle going this way. Shaded in between. I'm going fast because I know if I make this video too long, you guys just won't watch it. So, yeah, that's why it's gonna be a short video. Okay, this one is a slightly more complicated, but it's gonna be okay. So first we're gonna subtract 2. So we have 1/4 times the absolute value of x minus 3 is less than 1 minus 2 is -1. And then we want to get rid of this fraction. So we would multiply by 4 because 1/4 times 4 is 1. And anything times 1 is just itself. So it's basically like it cancels out. Well, it does cancel out. So taking it times 4 cancels over here. So the absolute value of x minus 3 is less than -4. Hopefully you remember from yesterday, absolute value can never be negative, right? Because the distance is always positive. So is it possible that the absolute value of something could be less than a negative number? No. It cannot be less than a negative number because it can't be negative. And the only numbers that are less than negative numbers are more negative numbers. So since this is negative, it has to be no solution. Okay, your homework is just numbers 25 through 30. Please do them. We'll go through them tomorrow. I will answer any questions and then we will talk about the greater than. It'll be amazing. And I'm finishing this because I want it to be less than 10 minutes. Have a lovely day. See y'all tomorrow.